Welcome back to Wainsider, the home of deep dive storytelling and the unseen truths behind the spectacle. Tonight, we revisit a moment that felt surreal, shocking, and unforgettable. On September 8, 2025, WWE Raw delivered an image that no fan ever expected to see. Roman Reigns, broken and battered, returning not through his grand entrance, but inside an ambulance. And guiding that return was none other than AJ Lee. The sight of AJ stepping out of the ambulance first, her eyes fierce, her hand extending back toward Roman, set the tone for the night. She wasn't there to smile or play a role. She was there to make a statement. Please like, share and subscribe for more WWE content. Roman's walk was slow, aided by AJ, but his presence still carried weight. The aura of the tribal chief was dimmed by pain, yet his shadow loomed large over everyone who watched. The crowd's reaction was a mix of shock and respect. This was no triumphant return. It was a man clinging to the remains of his throne, and a woman resurrecting him when the world believed he was finished. AJ Lee's involvement wasn't random. For years, she had been away from the spotlight, living outside the chaos. To reappear now, in this context, was more than a comeback, it was a reckoning. The emotional undercurrent between AJ and Roman was undeniable. Both had carried pressure that broke them in different ways. Roman with the weight of legacy, AJ with the suffocating expectations of a business that never truly let her breathe. Together, standing in front of the ambulance, they looked less like individuals and more like survivors. Survivors of power, of betrayal, of an industry that often destroys the ones it crowns. The segment unfolded slowly, tension layered in every moment. AJ's hand on Roman's arm was steady, almost commanding. It wasn't support alone, it was control, as if she was orchestrating his return. And then, midway through the broadcast, the truth began to crack open. Roman's hospital release wasn't just due to injury. The whispers started surfacing that his collapse was the result of a targeted attack backstage at Clash in Paris. The medical reports hinted at blunt trauma far beyond the ring damage. The bruising patterns didn't match the match alone. Someone had ensured that Roman stayed down long after the cameras stopped rolling. AJ's fierce demeanor suddenly made more sense. She wasn't just helping Roman walk again. She was protecting him, guiding him, maybe even plotting revenge for what was done to him. The locker room whispers turned to speculation. Who would dare orchestrate an assault on the tribal chief? Some looked toward the cracks in the bloodline, others whispered about outside forces seeking to remove Roman once and for all. And with AJ standing beside him, the whispers grew louder. Was she simply a guardian angel, or was she the architect of Roman's resurrection into something darker, more dangerous? Backstage, sources claimed that certain WWE officials were uneasy about AJ's return. Her history, her defiance, her unwillingness to play by the rules, they knew this wasn't a one-night cameo. The bloodline, fractured already by Solo Sikoa's ambitions and Jimmy Uso's wavering loyalty, now faced an unexpected variable. AJ Lee wasn't family by blood, but she might be the weapon Roman needed. But even as Roman stood tall again, fans could sense the silent resentment brewing. Every glare, every whisper backstage suggested not everyone was happy to see him return with AJ at his side. The aura of dominance Roman once commanded seemed compromised. His presence was powerful, but it was clear he was no longer untouchable. And that vulnerability made the betrayal all the more cutting. For AJ, the moment wasn't about nostalgia. It was about rewriting her place in WWE history. By bringing back Roman in front of the world, she positioned herself as the one who could resurrect empires, or burn them down. The fans erupted not with pure joy, but with conflicted energy. They were witnessing history, but also sensing that this was only the beginning of a far more twisted story. Every camera angle of AJ and Roman standing together by the ambulance felt cinematic, as if WWE had accidentally captured lightning in a bottle. The symbolism was undeniable. Broken bodies, healed by defiance. And yet, behind the symbolism lurked betrayal. Someone had put Roman in that ambulance. Someone had tried to erase the tribal chief. And now, his return wasn't about triumph, it was about vengeance. The family legacy of the Anoa dynasty hangs in the balance. Blood has always bound them together, But blood has also been the source of their greatest fractures. In the end, the return of Roman Reigns, carried by AJ Lee, was less about redemption and more about survival. It left us questioning who can truly be trusted when the stakes are this high. Because in WWE, betrayal isn't just a storyline, it's the heartbeat of the business. And on this night, betrayal, broken trust, and blood were the only truths that mattered.